Welcome, and thanks for joining us for the Warcraft Radio Race to World First, Ny'alotha Day 1 recap. My name is Athalis, and we have a lot to cover, so let's get started. The race began today, January 28th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. GMT. At the time of this recording, the North American race has been in progress for 10 hours, and the Europeans will join the race 3 hours from now. The current standings are as follows. Lemmet is currently in the lead, having just killed their 7th boss, with Rathian, Prophet Skitra, Maut, shad'har, Hivemind, Inquisitor Zanesh, and Vexiona in that order. Big Dumb Guild is currently in 2nd place with 4 bosses down, Rathian, Maut, Skitra, and Inquisitor Zanesh. Blood Legion is in 3rd place with Rathian, Skitra, Maut, and Hivemind down. Imperative is in 4th place with the same 4 bosses, and Midwinter is in 5th place with the same 4 bosses. The next 3 guilds in our top 8 have 3 bosses down, Rathian, Maut, and Prophet Skitra, and are listed in the order that they killed their 3rd boss. Coming in 6th is Vision, Fused is number 7, and Intern Made This Boss is at number 8. It's interesting to note that guilds have taken different routes. Some guilds chose to kill Skitra first, while others chose Maut. There's also been a fairly even split of guilds going after shad'har, Hivemind, or Zanesh after killing the first 3 bosses, but Zanesh has so far proven to be the most difficult. Many observers thought that Hivemind would be a relatively simple fight, with Limit going so far as to joke that if they didn't kill it in one pull, they should probably just disband as a guild. They did not one-shot Hivemind, but they also didn't disband. Ironically, Hivemind has given several guilds significant difficulty to this point, requiring up to a couple dozen attempts for several guilds. The so-called roly-polies and the required movement mechanics have caused a number of wipes, particularly around the 4-minute 30-second mark where there's a crossover of key ability timings. shad'har was initially assumed to simply be a patchwork-style DPS check fight. While this is certainly true, guilds such as Big Dumb Guild are still adjusting to the mythic level tuning. The running joke today, particularly from the European broadcast, is that North American guilds will have trouble with Inquisitor Zanesh because Americans don't understand football, or, as we Americans call it, soccer. There's a kick rotation on this fight that has given several guilds trouble, with Limit clocking in around 20 attempts before bringing her down as World 2nd. Let's take a step back from the fights for a moment. There have also been several themes explored today on stream. First, the importance of BOEs in this raid tier is significant. In prior tiers, Titan Forged Bind on Equip gear was important as they would give you gear that was effectively the same eye level as the tier above the one in which they dropped. With Titan Forging removed and Corruption taking its place, gear with specific types of Corruption offer an even more significant DPS increase. In fact, today, one caster suggested that this increase was the equivalent of 30 to 60 eye levels in several cases. It's estimated that guilds like Limit and Method have each spent $500 million gold, in some cases borrowing money, to procure BOEs in preparation for Ny'alotha. I think it's also worth mentioning that 0 guilds have one-shot any boss to this point, including the first boss. This is seen as a welcome improvement in difficulty from previous tiers. The race is expected to heat up tomorrow as Europe enters the fray, starting at 9 a.m. CET or 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We expect to see guilds such as Method catch up quickly, at which point it'll be anyone's game. Thanks again for joining us for our Day 1 recap. Be sure to check back tomorrow for our Day 2 recap, and as always, you can keep up on raid progress at warcraftradio.com/RWF.